2, in 1. Holla ballers and a brofist to you all, for it is Drama Friday, and I'm so happy to see so many of you here. Look at you beautiful people joining me on this fine Friday eve. The storms of the UK have come to an end, which means my house is no longer blowing to the ground, which meant that finally I could finish up that wonderful Legacy of the Warrior video, which you guys really loved. Loved it so much, in fact, I instantly already have started writing the next one, which should hopefully be out next week. I am really into making them at the minute. Like, making that video was, like, fantastic. So I don't know if it's going to be a legacy of a class. Maybe it's time to look at the Burning Crusade. Maybe we're going to look at another class, something like that. But I'm kind of torn between either the TBC retrospective, like we did with Vanilla, where we looked at the truths and the consequences of that, or do I go straight into another Legacy of a Class video? Like I say, I've started writing one of them. Which one I'm going to make next, that's still up for debate in my mind. But on top of that, on this fine, fine day, we also got to see our first glimpse of the Warlords of Draenor. The Warlords of Draenor playthrough, I think, after watching those videos, I've watched them through once. I think I need to do a workshop on that guy. Why is it we can't get good players to do our first reveal? Who are these guys? Who was that person? Who was you? Where are you? Because you need to come and see me. Because you done goofed. You done goofed recording that video. Okay? I mean, you're the kind of guy who recorded a video. This is the first thing we're going to see of Warlords of Draenor. And you didn't put poisons on a rogue. Y'all didn't use any poisons. You just blade fluid all over the fucking place. Yeah, was it Brad? It could have been Brad. It could have been fucking Brad. It really could have been Brad. I don't know who it was. But my God, you should not be. You should come and see me. Okay, we'll do a workshop for you. We'll help you out. There was a few errors. I just want to say there was a couple of errors in that gameplay that I noticed that maybe we can fix. Maybe we can fix that up for you, okay? So, web show tomorrow. So, many of you have been asking. Elder Scrolls Online, yes, I played through the beta. Wildstar, I've played some Wildstar and all that kind of stuff. And I want to get into it on the web show with Ghosty, because there's some varying opinions and stuff. And plus, he's like, especially for Elder Scrolls has been a big bone of contention recently. He's very much enjoying things like, he enjoyed Oblivion, Skyrim, all those kind of Elder Scrolls-ish stuff, which I did not. But so we can get a kind of balanced aspect there from the Elder Scrolls side and the MMO side. So it's going to be good. So tune into the web show at 8 p.m. on Saturday, depending on whenever you're watching this. That's 8 p.m. UK time. Google it. It's really, really easy. I did not play EverQuest Next. I don't believe you can play EverQuest Next. I don't think you can. I'll look into that, though. I'll look into that. Okay. That's not why we're here. We're here because it's Drama Friday. Drama Friday, send me a little story of something that happened to you, which was just ridiculous. Just ridiculous things that happen in an MMO because we're dealing with people on a daily basis. And let's face facts, people can be assholes, including our good selves. We can be assholes too. I've got to say, I read through probably 13 drama stories today while I was getting ready for Drama Friday. Some of you are very violent people. And if you go too violent, I'm not reading your story. If you're beating people up, IRL, nah. I don't need to go there. I really don't need to bring the show to that level. We're trying to have a good time, yeah? We're trying to have a good time. We're not trying to physically injure people, all right? We're just having a good time. We're reading back through past stories of things that happened to us, and then we're kind of having a giggle because we made some silly errors and silly things happen. So I just want to put that out there. I just want to put that out there while we do this. Our first story is an RP story. That wonderful idea of roleplay, which some of us get stuck in without realizing it because we don't know what RP is or what an RP realm is, and then we ultimately end up on our RP realm, and suddenly things take a really weird turn. I'm going to need a lady. I'm going to need a druid. I'm going to need a mage. I'm going to need a hunter and a warlock, but I need a lady. I need a vixen. I need a vixen. I need a vixen. So you can go ahead and spam away. I'm just going to write these out, and then I'll start just picking some names out of a hat, essentially. As always, if I pronounce your name wrong or alter it for whatever reason, I apologise. It's purely for the speed of the show. Don't get upset. You should never be upset at Drama Friday, even if I call you obscene names. All right, who's got a ladylike name? Hug Boy? No. But Hug Boy will put you in anyway, because I like the idea that you're just a nice guy, Mr. Hug Boy. Oh, I think we've had Sonata before. It is a ladylike name, but we've had that before. Where's the ladies? Where's the ladies? I know you're there. I know you hide out. Kaya, that'll do. Or Kai. Kai will do. And then we'll go with Rhythm. Rhythm Urine. Or Rhythm. I assume it's supposed to be Rhythm. Yeah, I got that. I can read. And Counter Stare. I like that. I counter stared you. I have to say, last night, while I was working into the wee hours, I caught like high level Hearthstone play. Scary. It's bullshit. High level Hearthstone play is bullshit. It almost put me off playing the game anymore. Just to see where that story goes. Alright! We can stop spamming. We have our characters. This is going on a ride. Now let me start this story with how I first came to get World of Warcraft. My cousin always told me about it when we were talking to each other. And so my uncle decided to purchase the game for me on my birthday. Good uncle. When I got the game though, I had a potato computer, so I couldn't play it. I don't know what's worse. I really genuinely don't know what's worse. That you waited for the game till your birthday and got it and couldn't play it. It literally didn't work. My first copy ever of Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis did not work. And I got it on my birthday and the cartridge was broken. It was the saddest day of my life. The night I did get a PC that could run it, well, let's just say I was running around screaming. It's important to note here, our author is 8 years old at this time. Okay? He's 8 years of age when he finally got the PC in order to play that wonderful World of Warcraft. He's 8 years of age. I jumped onto his realm and began my quest to level 70. Only got to about 40 though. But I did roll a Gnome Warrior. Remember Warrior quests like the Whirlwind one? We do, because we just watched The Legacy of the Warrior. Oh! Some of this story will take place in character, and some of it will be out of character. The days of my first RP. So when you're around the age of 9 or 10, you don't exactly know how to roleplay. Although I did try. What are you roleplaying as a 9 or 10-year-old? You've got to be Iron Man or Captain America. I don't know what we're role-playing as a 9 or 10-year-old. But I'm sure it was good. I'm sure we were doing it proper, correct, and all that kind of stuff. My first attempt to RP was on my Night Elf rogue, wearing Blood Elf armor and killing people in bars with slash emote. Yeah! That's what he was doing. That's his first roleplay. He would walk into a bar, he would slash emote, yeah! And then people would apparently be dead. After I realised I was terrible at roleplay at this age, I started levelling again. Cut levelling to a standstill to go and do his wonderful roleplay. But then I decided I was shit and went to level again. As years went by, I returned to Stormwind on a new character. Another rogue! I started roleplaying again, meeting a human hunter, who I will speak to now. Names, who did we pick? Hug Boy! There he is. Oh, Hug Boy was a nice guy. That was excellent. I met a human hunter called Hug Boy. He got me into the thick of roleplay. With his Worgen druid friend, who isn't listed, so I assume he don't come back. We started RP'ing on a regular basis with a lovely lady named Kai. She was a human rogue. She only knew me as a female rogue, and so we became friends in character. Friend-zoned? Friend-zoned with this girl because his character's female, right? These are the things you don't think about when you're role-playing. You might meet that beautiful, special someone, but you're never going to get anywhere because you made a female character. That's the truth of the situation. So we're just friends. We would stand by the bar and talk, but this friendship never happened until I re-rolled a human paladin. I used him to talk to Kai. He re-rolled to talk to a girl. That's how serious roleplay is, motherfuckers. Right? You want to take this relationship to the next level? You're going to have to re-roll. That's how it works. You have to re-roll to talk to the lady. So now he's on his paladin, right? So I walk up to her randomly in the bar and attempt to pull. I tried to pull. It worked! He pulled. But as we left the bar, a man... Ooh. Okay, this character is not on there. Why? Alright, I need another character. Donkatron. Donkatron's in. A man named Donkatron appeared over the wall. Now, before I continue, this Donkatron kid is, well, how I can only describe as a horny teenager. Is that right, Donk? Donk, are you a horny teenager? I can't really speak, though, with what I was trying to do now. Donkatron ran up to Kai and she followed him. I was pissed. Yeah, Donkatron swooped. Donkatron brought the noise. I was so pissed. I went and sat on the wall and Slash cried like a pussy. It actually says that in the story. He was so angry with you, Donkatron, that you made him go and sit on a wall and Slash cry. And I quote, like a pussy. You turned a man into a pussy with your swaggy ways, Donkatron. Eventually, Kai walked over and apologised, telling me I'm not the type of girl you want anyway. But I didn't listen. Didn't listen. She told him it's not on. Didn't listen. Chapter 2, The Jealousy. After a few weeks of talking to Kai, I really started to get to know her out of character. The real Kai. And this is when Rhythm. And this is when Rhythm, the human mage, lesbian, another horny teenager, entered the story. I felt like everybody wanted Kai, and everyone that tried, I yelled. Every time I went to Stormwind, someone would be hitting on Kai, and it really annoyed me. So sad. I told Hugberry about this, and he told me I was just being jealous, but I don't understand why. A few days later, I began to realise that these feelings for Kai were more than the in-character thing. He's falling deeply in love. I started spending all my nights trying to realise how and why do I like Kai so much, but I never understood it. All I knew is that everyone that tried to get to her had to be stopped. I started with petty people on the street, telling people if they didn't leave my woman alone, they would be killed. In character. Yeah? He literally decides, oh man, that the best way to solve this issue is to approach strangers on the streets of Stormwind and tell them that he will murder them if they speak to Kai. Okay? That's what we're doing. That's the plan. That's what we came up with at 10 years old. And that is what we're going to do. And that's what's happening. Some didn't listen! No way! Some of them didn't listen! They didn't listen at all! Unbelievable! Some didn't listen, and either Kai pushed them away or I killed them in character. But now, Donkatron returned. Now, Donkatron was hated because he always blackmailed people. I remember Kai telling me that Donkatron stalked, threatened her, and forced her into ERP. Forced her. That is virtual rape, motherfuckers. That's Donkatron right there. Donkatron brought the fucking noise. He forced her into erotic roleplay. He forced her down onto that bed and forced her to do disgusting things. Donkatron, the hell is wrong with you, man? Forced her. Face the donk. Face the donk. I love it. She forced me to ERP. He forced me. He forced me to ERP. Oh, Kai, you minx. You minx of the night. Now, at my age, I honestly felt sorry for her. I always tried to get Donkatron away from her, but to no avail. He would always find a way to her, such as just walking by, because you can't stop him. And I never understood why Kai didn't put him on ignore. Donkatron went away again after realising I was not prepared to let him touch Kai. But another face appeared. Counter stare. Oh, counter stare. The human warlock tried to seduce Kai with her succubus. Another lesbian. I tell you what, do you guys find it strange that these roleplay servers are just full of lesbians? Isn't that strange that all these female characters are trying to get with other female characters? I find that very unlikely. Very unlikely that all these young boys would make female characters to have virtual sex with other virtual females. I find that very odd indeed. It's curious. Very curious. So, counter stares using his succubus, right? Counter stares using his succubus on Kai. I'd always tried to find a law reason why she couldn't. But she did. And Kai allowed it. Kai let the succubus happen. Kai allowed it. I always messaged Kai telling her to stop this and that Counterstare is a bad person. Oh, he's 10 years old. Don't go with Counterstare. He's a bad person. The succubus doesn't even work. It doesn't make sense in law. Hugboy just sat back laughing. Eventually I tried to kill Counterstare as she was bullying Kai in character by cutting her hand and such. Cutting her hand. Okay, you might think that's weird. Yeah, you might think that's really strange that in game he was cutting the girl's hand, right, to draw blood in character. But it gets weirder. Every time, little 10-year-old guy, right? Every time I almost killed her, she just disappeared. Apart from the time she broke my character's arms and legs. Bitch! She caught me off guard. She left me on the floor with broken arms and legs. What can I do now? Just bastard. I almost had her every time. I nearly had her, except for that one time where she literally broke my character's arms and legs. And I was down, man. It was a sad day. Oh no! /EM breaks your arms and legs. No! God damn! Chapter 3. Happy holidays and Wargans. Brackets, parentheses, not Christmas. She's got skills. I know, right? Chick's got fucking skills. After a long day of school, I return home. Waited all day to speak to Kai. I log on. I check out her level to grats her to see she is now a Worgen. I went mental at her in Whisper. I saw she was on a Worgen. I literally lost my fucking mind. I went crazy in Whisper, telling her that she had to change back and that Worgens are scum. How could you just be a Worgen? She didn't listen. And eventually convinced me to change to a Worgen. That's how it went down. You can't be a Worgen. I went crazy. And somehow she convinced me to roll a Worgen. Shit. Which I did. I still hate Worgens now. And always will. I'll always hate that Worgen. God, don't say Worgen around me. It just ends badly. But for some reason, all she had to say was, do it for me. And I had already re-rolled. I made a Worgen Hunter and got to level 90 when familiar faces started appearing. Rhythm was the first. Now, me and Rhythm were friends now, that filthy lesbian. I didn't mind him until I shot off his character's arms, tortured his character, then shot his character randomly in the head when he went to hug Kai. We were friends, right? So to put it out there, we were friends, but we did have this one day when I shot off his character's arms, tortured his character, then shot his character randomly in the head. Okay, that was a bad day, I'll admit. It went a little bit, because he tried to hug Kai, right? He tried to hug Kai. And he should have seen it coming, to be fair. And especially the torture. The torture was just a guarantee at this stage. At this point, it was not surprising. He went on the forums after that and tried to turn the realms against me. Some people already hated me. I don't get why. You seem like such a nice guy. You threaten strangers in the street. And then you torture People who are apparently your friend. I mean, if you're torturing your friends, you've got to wonder what you're doing to your enemies, right? You've got to wonder what Michael Myers shit is going down with your enemies. You had to... Rhythm remade her in-character ICC. Whoa. In-character ICC. Whoa. Oh my god. Rhythm remade her in-character to now be Rhythm's daughter. After the torture and the lack of arms, the daughter appears of Rhythm. Rhythm's daughter started flirting with Kai. Bit of young meat. I couldn't handle all this, as I loved Kai out of character. I loved her so much. Kai knew I loved her, as it was very obvious when I was always complaining to her how much I hated people flirting with her. Eventually, people told her that I loved her. They told me that she said okay, and I left it at that. I love you! Okay. Is there a worse response? I love you. Okay. Okay. So, we're now going to turn it up. We're level 10. The feelings have been exposed. Time to turn it up, right? A few days later, I started telling Kai that I loved her, and she didn't care. And I should have stopped there, but I couldn't. I went on holiday for 2 weeks, and all I did was think about her. All the time I was alone. Or when I wasn't talking to people like my parents. Some alone time with Kai was needed. Gotta get that alone time in. When I returned from my holiday, I found out that... I'm sorry, guys. I've got to say this. He went away for 2 weeks. When he came back, he found out that Kai had ERP'd with Counter-Strike. She didn't even lay it on me lightly. She just said, I fucked Counter-Strike. I have to tell you something. What? I fucked somebody, okay? I'm just going to lay it out there. That's what happened. That's the way it went down. And honestly, IRL, I started crying.
You're going to have to leave.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to leave. You're going to have to leave. I couldn't handle it. I knew that ERP wasn't that much, but the amount I love Kai, I felt that she was almost cheating on me. You cheating bitch. You cheating bitch. Why? Chapter 4. Like this if you cry every time. I knew Kai didn't love me. She barely even liked me. I eventually started telling her just how much I loved her, writing out long, lengthy, in-game mails to her. Lengthy, in-game mails to her and sending her messages in-game. She just didn't care. All I wanted was for her to care that I loved her, but she never did. She would just say, okay, without an excuse. One day she eventually told her that her real name was Amy. Suddenly my favourite name in the whole world was Amy, and I was obsessed with it. What? When you say obsessed, did you start naming things around your house Amy? I can actually naming the vacuum cleaner Amy, my toilet roll is Amy. That doesn't work. You wipe your ass with it. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Definitely your condom is Amy. Definitely. After she told me her name, I told her my age. Oh, he was 13. Oh, puberty. Motherfucker. Motherfucking puberty. That's 13. There's pubes on the pitch, son. Hormones be raging. And I bet she still didn't care. I don't know what I expected. She was 19 and I was 13. That's like forever. I told her when I was 18 she will only be 24 and that then we can be together. I've got a deal for you, Kai. When I am 18, you will be 24 and then we can be together. That's when it's gonna happen, baby. Hold out for me. I'm aging so fast right now. You won't even believe it. You won't even believe it. She just said, okay. She just said, okay. After trying more and more to get her, I eventually started sitting there every night crying and trying to think of how I could be with her. I am not at all fucking with you. Okay, I wish you were. I loved her more than rogues love ninja in gear. Her character and mine eventually got together in character. She opened her fucking legs, boys. Oh! Score! She opened her legs and said hello. Eventually it happened. I guess she just wanted to be a little nicer to me. Maybe she just felt sorry for me, but it didn't last long as jealousy kicked in again and I thought she was cheating on me in character. I heard she had got with Counter-Stare shortly after. That Counter-Stare, man. That Counter-Stare. Alright? That Counter-Stare. Bringing the fucking noise. Once you go Counter-Stare, you never go back. You know what I mean? I heard she got with Counter-Stare shortly after, and that's when I got so upset I didn't want to RP anymore. No! I started leveling again and raiding. I don't know why raiding's in commas, inverted commas. I assume it's because he did a 5-man, and it's not a raid, or he did LFR. On the release of the Theramore scenario, I messaged her. Oh, on that glorious day? Of course, what an opportunity. The opportunity finally came up. The Theramore scenario, me, you know what I mean? We'll kick it, Theramore style, baby. It's the opening gambit, isn't it? It's the opening gambit of the first text message, right? The first thing, not spoke for a while. Gonna throw her a little, just gonna throw her a cash comment. Gotta be super casual about it. Hey, how you doing? And how her college was. She replied with, fine. The amount of effort that the author must have put into that one super casual message. Fine. How's college? How are you doing? Fine. We started talking again. Well, for a few minutes before I started telling her I loved her again. So casual it hurts. Hey, how's it going? You know, I've kind of matured. I fucking love you so much. Please be with me. Please. I asked her just to care. And she said, I do. I do care. I had to know. If you and Counter-Stare had ERP again, I need to know. Just tell me how many times. Do you love him? Her? And she said, yes. I again started crying and messaged back, why would you tell me? You know I love you. And she replied with, you keep asking otherwise. Why did you tell me the truth? Why wouldn't you just lie? Why? Because you would just keep asking. I went offline. I sat that night crying. messaging Hugboy over Skype about it. Hugboy, you're a bastard. You're a bastard. Chapter 5. Argent Dawn. A few weeks later, Hugboy changed realm and I quit WoW. I came back later though, through Mop, and went to the Argent Dawn with Hugboy. Before I still loved her, and asked if it would ever work. I need to know. Will it ever work between us, Kai, before I leave? I'm leaving this realm. I'm taking my boat and sailing away. I need to know though. Will it ever work between us? Is there a chance? She never replied. She never replied and I left. Watery-eyed, I waited for my realm transfer, thinking of all the times I had spoken with Kai. She never gave me her battlenet under the excuse I can't. Because Donkatron will stalk me again. I can't give you my real ID because of the Donkatron. Okay? You don't know the Donkatron like I know the Donkatron. The Donkatron has ways and means of finding me. And therefore I keep everything hush-hush. I never even knew her last name, so I couldn't get her on the good book. Oh, I tried the good book! Tried the good book, but couldn't get through the door. Only had Amy. You fucking searched through thousands of Amy's. I guarantee you searched through thousands of Amy's looking for somebody with like a World of Warcraft fucking thumbnail or some shit like this freaky guy keeps stalking me or God hates Donkatron as their message. You sat on the fucking good book, and I know you did. Going through all the fucking Amy's in the universe looking for her. I know you did. Oh my God. You totally did as well. I bet you did it for days. That is crazy. I know you did it as well. I know you did. I fucking smell it. And the Donkatron was on your fucking trail, wasn't he? The Donkatron was there. Yeah, buddy! A few months since the Argent Dawn, Kai joined the server. And apologised. Her sorry meant nothing. I messaged back. All I wanted was for you to care that I loved you, and you didn't. You used me and then left me when you found another friend to ERP with. And she just replied with, fine. I take my apology back. Bastard! Alright, I'll take it back. I fucking take it back. Fine, I take my apology back. I simply replied, what apology? Now, I don't think she took this the right way. When she did say sorry. That was the apology. Where you went wrong there was the bit where she transferred and she said sorry. And you said, what apology? Now, I don't think she took this the right way. I meant it in as when someone says, don't tell anyone, you reply with, tell anyone what? Oh. Yeah, that does not work in that context at all. You really goofed that up. That does not work. That is not easy to convey via written word. I just that does not work. That was a misstep. That was a misstep from start to finish. That was a fuck up, friend. That was a fuck up. She just replied with fuck you and said please do and I said please do. You're digging. You're digging. You're digging. Fuck you. And you said, please do. Ow! By the way, I told this server what you did to me and they all hate you. By the way, I told everybody on this realm and they hate you. I don't think you did. She played with others until a friend came to the Argent Dawn on an alt to insult me, and I told him to fuck off and take your tongue out of her ass, you little slut. Go cyber with her and drink a bottle of bleach. Sick burn. Now, I didn't realise that it wasn't Counter-Stare, and he just told me I was being a prick to turn a server against her, but she had done the same to me on the old server. Got bitter this, didn't it? Didn't it get bitter? The end... I now RP on the Argent Dawn with a guild trying to reclaim Lordaeron. But I will keep the drama at this. I'm now hated by most role players on the old server, but that server is dead anyway. All the people I dislike RP in places like Stormwind, like most of the bad RPers do. Oh my god, RP elitist much? Holy fuck. Yo, you RP? Yeah, where do you RP? Stormwind? Pfft, noob. What the fuck is that? Stormwind, yeah, okay. RP's in Stormwind. Get a load of this jerk. It's been a year since the happy elitism. I fucking love it. It's been a year since the events of the story, and it's only now I'm starting to get over Kai. Although in a few years older, the events of this story, I'm starting to realise how much of a dick I was in order to get Kai. Good. 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 I did get really depressed for a long time, and I was always crying after I stopped talking to Kai. I would never get with Kai anyway. She's a total bitch. Yeah, I don't even want you anymore, Kai. You're a total bitch. Get it? But I still loved her. And probably always will. Don't That's my advice to you, friend. Thank you for reading this story. If it's a little short, I'm not the best story writer. This is an old tale, and I don't want to delve deep as it's very personal and such. But nonetheless, enjoy your weekend. We will, friend. We will. And I'm glad you got over that vicious, evil witch called Kai. All right. That's an RP story, people. That's how we do it. RP style. Right? That is how we do it. Now, let's noob it up. Should we have a super short story about a really horrible person? Yeah, we'll do it. I need a babysitter. I need a babysitter. This is super short one, but it's so cruel. It just has to be told. I like it when you get really cruel, because people don't believe it's possible, and then you read the story, and oh my god. Okay, who's a babysitter? Oh, Peculiar, you're in. Peculiar, the babysitter. Let's change you to a different role. I don't think we need a peculiar babysitter. That won't work. That won't work. Okay, Joe Ozzy. I'm just going to put you in as Joe. Joe the babysitter. You're in. But it's you, Joe Ozzy. Don't you forget it. Who else we got here? Caps Cake. Love it. Caps Cake. A big full of Caps Cake. Hook Boy, you've already been in. Get out of here, buddy. And... Ooh. So many names. Oh my god. Slother. Yeah, Slother, you're in. Right, that's it. That's it. Right, this is a super short one, and then we're going to... Time's it 22. We'll get it in. We'll get it in. We'll be alright. Speed reading. So hope I don't mess up the names. Hello, Preacher and Brothers, to you and your awesome viewers. I am from Canada. My story takes place during Wrath of the Lich King, but first I would like to give you a little backstory. I started playing at the very end of Vanilla and the beginning of the Burning Crusade. I first learned about the game when I was about 8 years of age from my babysitter. His name was Joe, and he discovered the game through the South Park episode. South Park to Joe to the author. Okay? South Park's Joe to the author. I watched Joe play for hours. Worst babysitter ever, by the way. Worst babysitter ever, Joe. That is like the slackest shit I've ever heard. Oh, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Dingleberry. I'll take great care of your son. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to take great care of your son. See you. Have a nice night. What time you due back? About 11? Cool. All right. Sit there. Watch me play on the PC. Quite frankly. For hours. Extendable hours at a time. And enjoy it. Watching me play my video game. Shut the fuck up. Don't ask me questions. Alright? That's what we're going to do. And then he's going to get paid for it. Like it. I watched Joe play for hours until he eventually let me create my own character. I made a ginger dwarf hunter. Before I chose which character I made, Joe told me a little about each class. I had it narrowed down to either a hunter or a warlock, simply because they had pets. I went with hunter because any beast of my choice seemed badass. Fast forward to late the Burning Crusade. At this point, I was rocking about 9 or 10 and had my own WoW account. Smooth. I convinced my mom to get a computer and the game. It was an old bank computer. Wow. Holy shit. But it got the job done. I remade my dwarf on a different realm, but this time on my own account. I've been playing for about a year at this point, and I wanted some of my friends to start playing. At school, I tried to talk them into playing almost every recess. I bet that wasn't annoying in the least. Eventually, 2 of my friends decided to play. One name was Peculiar, and the other's name was Capscake. Peculiar and Capscake. Both of which had better PCs than me. Get shit on. Get shit on. I was off to a rough start. Not only did none of us have our characters on the same realm. Oh my god. I can imagine these 10-year-olds trying to organise themselves. Let's get organised. We're 9 or 10 years of age. Let's get this shit together, okay? Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Capscake made a Horde character, although I was Alliance. Different realm, different faction. Different realm. Got it. Nailed it. In one go. Eventually, I convinced them to move to my realm since they didn't get very far in levels anyway. You just carried on leveling. That's 10-year-old stubbornness for you. Dude, you're on the wrong realm. Don't care. Going for it. We can't even play together. Don't give a fuck. I've already got 2 levels on this character. I'm not re-rolling, okay? I'm committed now. I'm in. I can't just re-roll. Jesus Christ. You know how much time I've put into this shit? Peculiar made a male Draenei hunter And Capscake made a troll hunter. Still Horde. Still Horde. Yes, that's right. All three of us made hunters. You can only imagine in LFG when like 3 hunters join your group at the same time. But it doesn't matter because one of them's on Horde. Capscake stayed Horde since his dad and brother both got accounts shortly after he got one and they preferred Horde. Get shit on. But we're Alliance and we're your friends. Nah. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I prefer the Horde. That's sticking to your guns right there. Fast forward to the launch of Wrath. At this point, me and Peculiar were about level 45. Wow. Wow. And it was now a race. It was a race to see who could make a Death Knight first. Of course it was. Of course that was the race. Because that is the ultimate goal of every 9-year-old who plays World of Warcraft, is to who can make a DK first. The hero class. That's our mission. Gotta make a DK first. It's gonna be good. You know what this game needs? Is more 9-year-old Death Knights. Shit, yeah. Unfortunately, I lost. I was utter shit at leveling. Meanwhile, Capscake's dad was in the realm leading the raid team as an Orc warrior tank. Capscake was about level 30 at this point. He's been playing for like 2 years, level 45, level 30. Doing it right, squad. Doing it right. This is where the drama begins. Me and Peculiar had gotten so competitive. Let's not forget the epic DK race of Wrath of the Lich King. Competitive at this point to reach level 80 that we couldn't even play together anymore. This is his only friend on his faction. I dropped my DK and went on leveling my Dwarf Hunter. Peculiar had completely dropped his Hunter and stuck with his male Draenei DK. DK versus Hunter, first to level 80. Gripping. Peculiar was trying to get our other friend, Slother. Enter Slother. Peculiar was trying to get our other friend, Slother, to start playing. Peculiar would have Slother over at his house all the time to watch him play WoW. Dude, you have to come to my house and watch me play a game. It's going to be awesome, I'm telling you. Eventually, Peculiar let Slother play on his account. Peculiar, of course, gave Slother his password so he could play at home. One day, I had Slother over at my house and he asked me if he could use my computer. I asked why. Slother said, I have Peculiar's WoW account and I want to play. I immediately thought to myself, if I can delete Peculiar's DK, I will definitely reach level 80 first. That, my friends, is why you don't trust kids. Ever. Because that's the mentality of a 9-year-old. If I can somehow delete that character, I'm going to win the race. And that is important to me as a 9-year-old son of a bitch. That is my first thought. Oh, you do? Then this is the reason. I told Slother my plan and he thought it was hilarious. Didn't he? Oh, that's going to be really funny. Because I don't know anything about this fucking game. And I don't know what it's like to just randomly delete characters. And he decided to let me do it. Slother's on board. Part of the team. I logged on to Peculiar's account, and there it was, his Draenei DK, level 75. Meanwhile, I was only level 69. I didn't delete it right away. Slother and I decided to log into his character and see what he had, what goodies could behold. He had more gold than I had ever seen before. Somewhere around, are you ready? 500 gold. More gold than I could ever imagine existed in the history of World of Warcraft by Wrath of the Lich King. 500 gold. At first I was going to send the gold to my character, but then I thought he'd ask where I got all the gold from. So what I decided to do was more evil. First, I stripped his character to the bone, including selling his extra bags. Boom. Gotta get those coppers in. I love it. Being 9 years old is awesome. Secondly, I went to the auction house and looked for the most expensive thing I could find. 9-year-old thinking coming up, right? 500G. Can't just take the money because what if he realizes I've got a load of gold, right? That would be a dead giveaway that I was somehow involved. What I need to do is invest the money in something awesome. So we're going to find what we can find that's worth 500 crack dollars, right? 500 dollary swags, and see what we can get. What I found was a mechanical Yeti companion pet. Boom. And this was before pet battling or even a pet menu. You hipster pet collector. Hey, this wasn't during the whole pet fiasco. This predates it, right? I'm going to be sporting me a mechanical Yeti companion worth 500 G-monies. I spent his whole fortune on this pet. I then learned the pet, so it was soul-bound. Oh, no takey backsies, motherfucker. Got it. Learned the pet and then logged off. I took one last look at Peculiar's DK and deleted him. He called me a couple of hours later, bawling his eyes out. I was trying to sound sympathetic, but on the inside, I was the happiest man alive. I told him a load of crap about how to get his character back and hung up the phone. Call Blizzard. Boom! 2 days later, Slother just told him it was me. 9-year-old, no commitment, right? Bro code or what? He took part in the heist. He's as guilty as you are. And he just told him. Couldn't contain himself, could he? With a fucking corker of a story under his belt. What's Slother to do? Just keep it to himself? He's got to tell the word. Me and Peculiar got into a huge fight over what now seems like nothing. To this day, me and Peculiar haven't said a word to each other, even though we're all in high school together. Lost a friend for life! Lost a friend for life! Shenanigans, right? 9-year-old shenanigans? My god! Oh my god, 9-year-old shenanigans. I fucking love that shit, man. Not speaking for the rest of our lives. Lost a fucking friend. Right. This is like really long. Okay, I got 2 up here. Hold on. Let me see. 1 second. I'm going to try and get through this because it's just so weird. It's called... We'll try and get through this before my good lady wife-to-be comes and destroys me. The Great Healer Strike. Okay. All right. Okay, we need... Right, okay, he pre-knows this. This is one of those lady bashing stories. But as a side note, I have only ever known 2 other female WoW players who were highly skilled and did not cause any drama. He wants to preface it by he's met plenty of ladies who were awesome girls. Awesome girls. But in this occasion, it was not to be. Okay. See if we can get through this. Oh, that guy's only mentioned 1. I will call him Vanish. Okay. So we need a lady. Who's got a ladyish name? Where the girl's at? Big old doggy? We'll go with Doge. I suppose is the new in-word, isn't it? Doge. Doge. We got to do it. Angelic. Lovely. Angelic will do nicely. Angelic will do just nicely. And we need Hazel. Oh, there's another lady's name. Sorry. Now all the ladies are coming out of the woodwork. Fine. Another Angelic. Look at all these girl names comes out. And Jetto. Jetto. It's actually long Jetto, but it is you. Okay. Let's try and whiz through this. Let's hope I get the names right. Let me set the stage by explaining my inception into the game and the guild through what I learned to be a raider. My story begins in the latter days of vanilla. I had recently graduated high school and decided to pick up World of Warcraft before I went off to college. I installed the game and quickly decided to play a male human warlock. Fucking retarded. That is just the stupidest shit I've ever fucking heard.
Fuck this. What a bitch.
Male human warlocks? No thanks. The realm recommended to me was Anvil Mar. An underpopulated, underprogressed, backwater piece of shit trolled by the game itself before you've even started. I fucking love Blizzard. So good. However, in my total noobness, none of this information was apparent to me. During the leveling process, I joined various scrub guilds with random people I grew with. Upon level capping, I found myself in a guild with a fair number of 60s and soon discovered the joys of raiding when I entered Zul'Gurub for the first time. Oh, nothing like your first raid. So fucking good. So good. As I recall, we killed everything in ZG except Hakar, but there were many wipes along the way. We might have been more successful if there were voice comms in use, but at the time, it didn't even occur to me that people would use such a thing. Regardless of the wipes, I had an absolute blast doing these raids. Our ZG runs continued for several weeks until one day I logged in to learn that a character not even mentioned, our GM and raid leader, had left the guild. I barely knew this man, but seeing the voice of authority gone left me feeling quite disheartened. Being a total noob, I didn't even realise I could slash who to see what guild he had joined. A few days later, I heard some people in G-Chat talking about how he had joined. We need a guild name. Ooh, the Delors. Da-da-da. He had joined the Delors. Very good guild. Much schnitzel. The top progressed raid guild on the server. Oh, the Delors are a big piece of cheese. Nice. I did a quick search of the Realm forums and found out this guild had its own website. They had a long history of raiding as a horde guild and had transferred to Alliance for paladins. You gave up fucking Wind Fury? You traitorous sons of bitches. Only pussies change from horde to Alliance for blessings. You fucking girls. That is disgusting. You gave up Wind Fury for blessing and salvation. Ugh! Disgusting. They had dominated progression since moving to Anvil Mar and they were accepting applicants for warlocks. I knew what had to be done. Guild launch? Yeah. The application indicated it was necessary for prospective members to have 3 full sets of resistance gear. Fire, nature and frost. Alright, let me think about this. Nax Ramus. Frost makes sense. Okay? Nature? The fuck did you need nature resist for? Oh, DPS would need fire resist? What, for Raggy? Why would you need fire resist on nature resist in vanilla? I'm coming up short. I genuinely did not read this line at any other point in time. Why? Frost makes sense. Everybody needed frost resist. Why would you need nature or fire? I can't think why. Why? AQ? Oh yeah, AQ, of course. Hooran. 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 Shadow? No. Can't recall anything that really needed shadow. You use shadow pots on lower thep. That's gonna boggle my mind. Fire. Yeah, fire. Yeah, you didn't need fire resist as a DPS. I never did. Motherfuckers. I didn't use it. Yeah, nature was for AQ. That makes sense. I don't know. Whatever. I still didn't use any nature resist on my priest. Rocking. I set to work on acquiring the necessary greens. Oh my god. Oh. Who gives me a hell yeah at farming Moradon? Because you're now doing the latest content in the game that you needed to go and do. Moradon. Who's there with Moradon? Who's with me? Warriors, Kid Tank, fucking twins. It was easy. I did it. Fucking Moradon, man. Give me a hell yeah if you were like, oh, we're doing Anchorage. Better go and get me some Moradon gear. Gotta go farm those greens! My regular DPS gear sucked complete balls, being nothing more than PvP rares, with nary an epic in sight. Oh, Legionnaire's gear? Awesome. Nonetheless, I submitted my app and began the waiting game. I would sit around the Ironforge bank, ogling at the awesome Nemesis gear of the Warlocks and Guild. Right there with you. Nemesis set was one of the coolest fucking pieces of shit in the game. I wanted nothing more than to have a character who looked that cool. It matters, Blizz! Right? Gear separation fucking matters. It matters. See? It inspires. It doesn't matter if people think it's elitist. It inspires people to go raiding. It matters. Several nerve-wracking days later, The GM of the Delors, Mr. Delors, whispered me. He told me my app had been accepted and I could join as soon as I wanted. I immediately quit my current guild, saying goodbye to the lone person online who I didn't even know. Oh, that's really sad. Bye, Greg. Whoever the fuck Greg is. Transmog, bro. Yeah, right. Minutes after joining the Delors, I was invited to a Nax Ramus raid. Oh, good luck. I showed up to the raid PvP flagged and was quickly shouted at to stay the fuck away until my flag had dropped. Not a great start. My first boss encounter with the guild was Instructor Resuvius. I thank God I wasn't a priest, or I probably would have fucked up and been booted immediately. Oh, yes. I don't even recall if they killed him that night, but something much more important happened to me. When I joined the Warlock channel, the other locks asked me about my mod usage and whether or not I had big wigs. The most popular boss mod at the time. I had never heard of this, and the only mod I used was the one to display how many soul shards I had. I am sure they facepalmed at this, but they were nice guys and directed me to the proper mod sites. This is one desperate motherfucking guild, by the way. If you were joining a guild that was raiding Nax at the end of vanilla, and you didn't have mods, that was a desperate fucking guild. I survived my first night in the guild and came away with a lot more knowledge. A mere week after joining this guild, Christmas break was upon us. Being an unemployed college student, I had nothing but time on my hands. Since most of the officers in the guild were older guys with family and significant others, they took a break from raiding for 2 weeks. Over the course of this break, some of the members got together and formed some alt raids in ZG and Molten Core. I came out dripping in epics, though I was still undergeared compared to everyone else. After the Christmas break, the guild formed up for one final raid into Blackwing Lair. And it was the first and only time I experienced this raid in vanilla. At the end of the night, standing by Nefarian's corpse, the GM promoted me to a member. It was a glorious moment. As a side note, my former GM, whose trail I had followed up to the Delors, quit the game before I even joined the guild, as he'd apparently knocked up his girlfriend and couldn't handle the emotional stress that entailed and still raid. Well, that's what happened to him. Chapter 2, The Skillless Lady. Enter the lady. Soon after my promotion, the Burning Crusade hit and the leveling process began anew. It was much easier now that I had well-informed and well-geared people to group with. Once most of the crew had capped, we split into 3 Karazhan groups. Oh, this brings back fucking memories. I was in Group 1. Oh, man. We haven't got any members of Dark Light here, have we? You'll remember the names that we assigned. Affectionately known as Team Zero. We got the first kill on Prince Malkazar, which was pretty cool. As soon as people from all 3 teams were reasonably geared, we started to work on Gruul's lair. It was around this time I started seeing new faces in the guild. Some of the healers had burnt out at the end of vanilla, so there were some openings in the roster, particularly for Holy Priest. Enter, here she comes, enter Angelic, the human female priest, who was actually a middle-aged Asian woman in real life. Maybe it was because she acted sweet on Vent, or the raids were simple enough that she didn't clearly fuck up during many encounters, but this lady quickly made a place for herself. I got along well with her, and didn't actually see her in conflict with anyone in the guild for quite some time. The only thing she did that truly annoyed me was having a macro that said Fortitude Kisses whenever she would throw out group buffs. Anybody need a Fortitude kiss? Mwah, one for you, mwah for you, mwah for you. Of course, this spawned parodies amongst the more crude-minded bastards that comprise the majority of our group, such as, if you're going to say Fortitude kisses, I'm going to fire back with some Divine Spirit blowjobs. Divine Spirit, what a great buff. Divine Spirit blowjobs and Shadow Protection reach-arounds. It went there. It went there. We killed Gruul and Magtheridon. Oh my god. Did you have to spec for Divine Spirit? I seem to recall having to get people to do that. We killed Gruul and Magtheridon and then we started working on Tier 5 content. Anybody need a Divine Spirit blowjob? Anybody need some Shadow Protection reach-arounds? Reach around. Anybody? Want to reach around? Outside of SSC and TK, I started doing 5-mans with a pro-ass warrior tank, H who sounded like a gnome IRL, a priest Angelic, and a holy paladin named Doge. Who was a slightly effeminate dude. I never knew Doge very well, but he was highly skilled and eventually became our heal leader. If you recall, Angelic was a holy priest. That means we were doing dungeons with 2 healers. At the time, I didn't think much of this, but in retrospect, it was because Angelic couldn't handle solo healing. She also refused to go shadow under any circumstances. A healer friend of mine told me why. Angelic is fucking shit. Oh, why do we use 2 healers in this group? It's because Angelic is fucking shit. Really bad. Terrible. She only uses flash heal. No renews, no prayer, nothing. How this went under the radar for so long is a mystery to me. Not so! It's actually pretty common to just use that kind of healing style back in the day. But I had more important concerns like spamming Shadow Bolts and hoarding DKP. We dropped Vash and Kale, then started working on Mount Hyjal. Angelic was made a member about this time. It was a long-standing tradition. Okay. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. It was a long-standing tradition in our guild that newly made members would have to sing a song chosen by the officers. That's when you don't join that guild, okay? That's just weird and creepy. That's like military style. Don't do it. In Angelic's case, the middle-aged Asian lady, they selected Aqua's Barbie Girl. This song is an abomination no matter whose mouth the words come out of, and her rendition was so sickeningly sweet that I had to remove my headset for the duration. Angelic enjoyed singing because she sang a duet for our GM's birthday soon after this. Mother of goddamn Christ. German efficiency! Ha! Howdy sing you, baby! Mother of God. You know what? I love that so much. Sing a Barbie Girl? We should do a duet. Thankfully, our GM himself was not our singing partner. If he had been, I might have just G-quit and slit my throat immediately. The other member of the duet was a new member of our healing roster. A female Draenei Resto Shaman named Hazel. Hazel and Angelic. Excuse me? One moment, please. And there was the call. So, Hazel and Angelic. I never found out this woman's exact age, but I remain convinced she was old enough to be someone's grandmother. She was also British and a clicker. It was during our attempts on Archimon that it became apparent some of our raiders were terrible. Kiting doomfires and clicking your Tears of the Goddess slowfall is pretty hard, as it turns out. Angelic and Hazel were 2 such that fucked up frequently. Despite Angelic being a priest and having access to levitate, one of the measures taken to try and improve the situational awareness of our raiders was that everyone would have mandatory arena for several weeks. Holy shit! I totally remember guilds doing that. Oh my god. That is true. That is crazy true. I remember guilds forcing people to do arena to get better. Oh my god. That's a memory and a half. Holy shit. Angelic begrudgingly agreed to do this. She claimed that it was so stressful that she cried for hours. Oh. Middle-aged. I can't imagine a middle-aged woman fucking crying. Crying because doing arena. PvP drink. Oh god! He got me. It's totally legit. That was a big thing. That was a big thing back in the day. I thought it was a shitty policy myself, as I have always despised PvP. But one of my good friends was a Shadow Priest, and we had fun doing 2v2. Angelic survived her arena time and came out of it demanding that anybody fucking up in raids be subjected to the same treatment. Her performance did not improve in any way, and the policy was abandoned, which stressed her out. I have to imagine. Eventually we killed Archie and began working on the Black Temple. Please don't make me arena anymore. The Strike. Anyone familiar with the Black Temple would know that there was one boss that weeded out shitty players like nobody's business. Which boss? Go! Go, go, go! Which boss? Which was the boss? Which one? Which was the one that you just dreaded certain people being even in the raid? Like, please, for the love of God, replace this person so quickly. I can't even imagine. It was either the best, the most fun boss in the world. It could be amazing. or it could be a nightmare. No! Yes, Mr. Genji! Genji rocking it like a boss! Teron fucking Gorfiend. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Sisters of Pain. They were only a boss to enhancement shamans. Some people will get that someone. Getting ghosted. I like that. Getting ghosted on Gorfiend was trial by fire, and despite our research and strategizing, everyone fucked it up at least once. Did you know? Alright, I'm going to take you back in the day. How many of you played the Flash minigame that was designed to teach you how to do Teron? And everybody in our raid had to do it. I'm sure it was fucking forced upon everybody. There was a Flash minigame that simulated what happened when you got ghosted. It was so good! I owned it, that game. And it was actually easier in real game. Everyone fucked it up at least once. Most of our raiders grasped the concept quickly, however, and we felt we could win the fight in short order. That was a mistake, because we had our two special ladies in tow. It was a guaranteed wipe if either one of them got ghosted early in the fight. I only saw Angelic's ghost killed a single time, and that was only because of one of our DPS officers and the most pro member of the raid killed his ghost so fast and helped with hers. In Hazel's case, the stars never aligned, and I don't think she ever did a successful ghosting. Eventually, we killed Gorfiend. Through future attempts, we benched both of the ladies. Being benched? Oh, I have to tell you. Okay, so if you've never done it properly, it's fine, okay? I'll tell you that basically you played a really easy Frost Mage with like 3 buttons. It was very easy to do. We had one of our best mages, I believe, I want to say his name, but I can't think of it. A mage should own it, right? Because it was their class that they had to play. We had a mage give it up to somebody else in a web cafe to play it for him. Saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because he couldn't do it. I got promoted to the lot class leader some time ago, so one day I was surprised to see that we had a new applicant warlock who was none other than Angelic's husband. I was not even aware that she was married, but accepted the new lock into our ranks because he had equivalent gear to most of our crew, and the app was well written. I needn't have worried because he was really good. He caused no drama, performed well. During BT, we found ourselves in need of more healers. It discovered that Angelic's husband had a resto shaman named Jetto, and he agreed to make it his main. He also took over some of the raid leading duties and did a reasonably good job. Awesome! Good recruits all day. We went through BT and found ourselves standing before the Illidari Council. Oh, that fight's so fucking boring. More than any other fight in the zone, this one was an endurance match with shit flying everywhere. No, it wasn't! No! Bad guild! The Illidari Council is the most boring fight in history. If you've got reasonable players. It's so boring. So boring! Grr! Various things to move out of. No! No, it's just consecrate. That's it. It's just consecrate. It's fuck everybody who struggled on that fight. It's so fucking boring. I hated that fight so much. Ah! Such a nightmare to do. Wiping on that fight just makes me cry. Ugh. Sorry, just so many members. So many memories fighting that fight. Okay. This was not a friendly fight for our lady healers, and the complaints about them are becoming more vocal. We killed the council and started on Illidan. One night, invites went out, and we found ourselves missing 5 healers. Angelic, Jetto, Hazel, and our healer, and Doge, and another asshole druid named something else. None of them had posted on our website, which was a cardinal sin for anyone wanting to maintain a raiding spot. Can you imagine logging in? There's just no healers. Ready to raid? Ready to raid? Where's every healer? It came to light that this was an organised strike hatched up in the healer channel. They organised the strike. The healers felt that they were being blamed for everything that went wrong, and they were not going to raid until they received an apology and a promise of better treatment. That's slave labour. That fucking slave labour of WoW raiding. We were informed of this by one of the other shamans, who was a new recruit. He had gone along with everybody in healer chat, but decided to show up for the raid anyway. I love it! What a snitch! I love it. We should all strike. Yeah, we should totally strike. We should totally strike. The officers got everyone on vent. Okay, serious business coming up. And we had a group discussion about each of the healers on strike. Oh, one by one. And whether or not they should be removed or given a second chance. It was decided that Jetto would be offered the chance to continue raiding. His wife and all the others were booted from the guild and no fucks were given. You know how we're going to show our guild? We know how we're going to show these motherfuckers that they need us, that they can't do this without us. We'll strike. We'll strike and they'll come begging. We'll get everything we want. We'll apologise and yeah, they don't give a shit. They just kicked us off. Bastard. Fucking bastard. So sad. Get shit on. When I logged in the next day, I found out that Jetto had, of course, rejected the offer to continue raiding with us. I suppose the Fortitude kisses really were blowjobs for him. So I can appreciate his choice. Our guild recruited 2 new healers, and we eventually killed Illidan. We went on to get the realm first kills for everything up to Muru when our 2 main tanks were burnt out and quit the game. I remained in the guild and eventually became GM myself when I presided over ICC and Wrath. I burned out too and stayed away from sweet WoW cocaine for years. I've only recently started playing again, getting some casual raiding and mop with a few of my guildies, 2 of whom are now working at Blizz. The legend of Angelic endures in our collective memories, and ever since her removal, the bottom rank in our guild has been skillless Angelic. I never spoke with any of these healers again, but one day a guildmate of mine came across an application from that paladin, Doge. He had submitted to another guild. In it there was a question about activities outside WoW. Doge had written, "I love to dance." This comment came at a butt of many jokes in our guild, one of which I attached in a screenshot for your view and pleasure, which I'm not going to show you right now. And that brings us to the end. Yeah, fuck my wife, right? Jetto's like, fuck my wife, this is a good rating girl, I'm staying here. Yeah, you were really bad though, to be honest, so. That brings us to the wonderful end of our Friday drama. But not the end of streaming for this week, for I will be streaming in exactly 26 hours, or 25 and 3/4 hours, with our web show, which you should turn up to. We're going to talk about Elder Scrolls, we're going to talk about all that good stuff, and we're also going to be talking about our Titanfall stream, which I'll talk about tomorrow. Other than that, if I don't see you tomorrow, sad times. But I hope you have a great weekend. Do something cool with your weekend. It's free time, baby. Do something really good with it. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.